And then inevitably, your direction is changing, of course, relative to east and north to a southeastern direction. And you kind of go over France, you kind of cut the leg part or the foot part of Italy, you come through Egypt, and then you finally hit Mecca. All right, this is a very important point because sometimes directions, this is it, this is the way it is, that if you take a particular arc, initially the arc relative to, for example, a latitudinal line can be northeast, but then you're at your final destination it's southeast. Okay, so you can see, let's say if I kind of scroll out and rotate the Earth so that our line of direction is oriented parallel or up down to the screen. And let's say this little hand thing here is your foot, and you're kind of looking down at your place of prayer, right? So you're looking down your foot, this little hand is your foot, and then you look up. You'd be facing Mecca. Now, which way are you facing? You're facing northeast, right? And this direction will take you up to kind of skim Canada. It'll take you, just below UK. You'll go across France. Again, you'll cross the slight leg or the foot part of Italy, and you'll finally reach your destination of Mecca. And when I'm saying destination, I'm really talking about direction. So just visually, we can see that the direction or the Qibla being northeast makes sense. Just by visually looking at how we would face the direction northeast and how it finally points towards Mecca. Okay, and it doesn't seem to be, while you definitely could draw a southeast curve, which inevitably reaches Mecca, as we've explained before. You're subtly, it's a very subtle point, but you're adjusting your direction in order to compensate for initial direction not being correct. Okay, and a latter point that I want to make is if anybody's ever flown from the northeastern United States to places like Mecca or well, you don't fly to Mecca, you fly to Jeddah and then you bus to Mecca or to Abu Dhabi or Dubai. Initially, if your airline has one of those computer screens which shows the position of the plane relative to the Earth, you'll notice that initially it's flying northeast. When I flew from Toronto to Jeddah, I was passing through Toronto and Ottawa and Quebec, and I was skimming through this part of Canada. And then finally, you're actually going, or you finally reach just below the UK, and then you cross Europe. And, I was heading to Abu Dhabi, so it's a little bit more on this left direction. But, the plane actually follows this direction. And, an airplane, it's not aware of the controversy of, the Qibla being northeast or northwest and fatwas from different scholars. It's just trying to get you from point A to point B. And it makes sense that a plane would fly the shortest distance, maybe a slight divergence for, flight paths and things like that. But it follows a similar path because it's trying to get to the same direction. Now, of course, I just want to make it clear that everything that I've said here is not in any way an attempt to replace fiqh rulings or the arguments made in the Quran and Sunnah. It's just an attempt to kind of visually look at the two Qibla directions and see which one visually makes sense. And the true proofs are what is in the Quran and Sunnah and what has been explained through our rightly guided scholars. But as I said previously, and to conclude, in the end, the Qibla is a direction, and it's a direction that visually should make sense. And I hope, inshallah, with this video, I've made that clear. All right, that's it. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.